What's something that people turn into their whole personality? Here in the Netherlands, people who live in Amsterdam base their personality on Amsterdam. People move to Colorado and Colorado becomes their personality. They buy a Jeep or a Subaru and plaster mountain life all over everything they own. Not only that, but Colorado native is a whole thing too. I've met many people who have nothing to talk about except how bitter they are that people keep moving in and how much better it was when they were kids. Smoking weed. I smoke plenty of weed, but there's nothing more irritating than a pothead. As a highly functioning stoner, I find stoner culture and its stereotypes to be obnoxious. Their job, or just money in general. I worked with a guy who only ever talked about what things were worth, mostly vehicles, what he was thinking about buying, how much could he sell something for, the trades he wanted to make, how much our customers made, what motorbike he bought before from a guy on the street that we happened to be on, and what it's worth. That's all. It was annoying as heck. Any conversation at all, you could be talking about your grandma and he immediately tries to change the subject to value. It was literally the only small talk he knew. The fact he was poor just made it sad. My husband is kind of like this, and as much as I love him, it's so frustrating. I'm just not all about money. We don't need to tell the kids how much their gifts cost. I don't know, it makes me a little nuts. Girl bosses, MLM cult engagers, and social media. A friend of a friend was running one of those fad, you can drink milkshakes all day and lose weight places. She tried for months to get me roped into her pyramid scheme, but had to close her location down because after about a year she gained 100 pounds from her magic weight loss milkshakes and people stopped buying from her. I am surely going to hell for laughing at this. Loving Disney. Adult who likes Disney. Watches a Disney movie once in a while, can enjoy a vacation to a Disney park, has a Mickey Mouse t-shirt or pair of earrings, fond of childhood memories relating to Disney. Disney adult. House is a shrine of Disney merchandise. Disney car decals, every single vacation they take is to a Disney park, cries meeting Disney characters, half their wardrobe is Disney themed, insists on a Disney proposal, wedding, honeymoon, refusal to let go of childhood. I had a pass in 2018 and honestly I can see how people get caught up in it. Everything is so well done in the park that it's an actual escape from reality. The only reminders of the real world you can see are the planes flying overhead. If I buy a house in the Anaheim area, I'm for sure going to get a pass again. Zodiac signs. Like, please shut up about it. That is such a Leo thing to say. As a Leo, I agree, shut up about it. Being a sports fan. Crypto. There are so many of these on Twitter. I'm sure they're 98% bots, but damn. I once posted about how NFTs suck and 2 NFT accounts I had never seen immediately liked it. Being a YouTuber. For real though, the eyes say it all. Their preferred American political party. This has been a wild ride recently. I feel like we all know at least one person who has just gone over the edge with politics. My brother-in-law used to be a conservative-leaning guy, but it was never part of his personality, nor mine, nor the rest of his friends. We would go over there and eat smoked meats, watch the fights on TV, and generally have a good time. Then it just started getting weird. Suddenly, he would walk through our door and the first words out of his mouth would be an argument against leftists. I later realized he was binging podcasts and getting himself riled up. Every conversation became political. Every drink he drank intensified the problem. We were not a politically motivated group, lol. I assumed half the people there voted red and they assumed I voted blue. But it didn't come up because who cares? But it got so bad we stopped hanging out with him completely. We just couldn't take the constant political barrage, which I still have no interest in. It's not like I'm there advocating for the Democratic Party. It's gotten so extreme that you can't say anything without being accused of supporting this guy or being a part of this party. Somehow politics makes its way into everything. Being overworked and barely sleeping. To clarify, this isn't meant to be an insult. I know exactly how it feels to work an ungodly amount of hours with little to no reprieve. It's a routine that became ingrained in us, and I think it's important to remember being overworked, underslept, and having little to no time to ourselves is not healthy. And the amount of caffeine you drink to compensate, this is me right now in the manufacturing field, currently looking for a new job. Hair color. If I hear my coworker talk about how natural redheads are, or how you shouldn't mess with them and use it as an excuse for a crappy character trait, I'm gonna lose it. As a redhead, I hate other redheads like that. It's so annoying. We are pretty much normal people, just have some physical traits that differ. Being a boy mom. Facebook picture caption, raising a king. More likely raising a spoiled POS that ends up treating women badly in the future because he thinks he can walk all over them because his mom gave him everything and did everything for him. Oh my gosh, I work at a daycare and the children of those parents are an absolute nightmare in the classroom. Some people legit think that saying no to their kids is borderline child neglect, not knowing the chaos those kids then bring with them everywhere they go. So entitled, so whiny, still throwing temper tantrums when they're about to go off to kindergarten. It's ridiculous. Do you ever see a police officer's wife? It's crazy, but they turn their entire existence into being a police spouse. It's very odd. I have two neighbors that are police. The younger the wife, the more intense the alternate reality they create for themselves. The husbands never mention their profession, but the wives can't shut up about it and try to prove how much they know about local law enforcement. Same for military wives. My cousin's husband was in the Air Force. He was never deployed, but whenever he would get sent out for field training, she was always talking about how hard being a military wife was and how much she missed her husband. Like, girl, chill. He's gonna be gone for a week. Relax. Don't shave your legs, sleep on the entire bed, and do all the things you wouldn't normally do when he's home. Gym or fitness? Do you even lift? No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. Socrates. Incredibly based. The generation they're born in. You just don't get it because you're not a 90s kid. Said by someone born in 98. Pickup trucks. There are people that happen to own pickup trucks, then there are people whose pickup truck owns them. We all know the type: floodlights, mud tires, grill racks, lifted, spotless paint with wax, and optionally a diesel stack coming out of the bed, truck mutts, and a snorkel. I get it. Printing out business cards that tell people you're a douche would be difficult to distribute on the highway at 70 miles per hour, but it might be more cost-effective than your 100K Raptor. Ah, the bro-dozers. I've never heard this before, but it has immediately entered my vocabulary. Harry Potter, and I'm sick of pretending that a 45-year-old woman running around saying she's a Hufflepuff is normal. You are definitely a Ravenclaw for coming to that conclusion. I hate this answer, and I hate that I laughed at it. Their own perceived persecution, victimization, being suppressed and personally attacked is who I am. And guess what? It's impossible to point this out because it falls right into their perception. Avoid it at all costs. I wouldn't be so paranoid if everyone wasn't out to get me. Conspiracy theorist. Open your eyes, do your own research. I have a cousin like this. I think it's a self-esteem thing. He doesn't have any accomplishments in life, but believing that he knows the truth while the stupid sheeple are in the dark gives him something to feel superior about. I think that's super common, essentially the root cause of a lot of this type of behavior. Born-again evangelicals. My folks became born again about a year ago. It was all well and good until we were hanging out one night and they started to watch their Wednesday night church service over Zoom. My mother gets up in the middle of the service, puts her hands on my head, and starts asking God to come into my heart. I shouted nope and left. Also, contemporary praise music is the most bland, boring-ass crap music on the planet. Faking mental disorders. Ideally, DID and such. I can understand those who do have these disorders and just want to spread awareness and the struggle in their lives, but be aware that not everybody tells the truth, especially internet influencers, whether it's for views, money, popularity, or attention. Why DID of all things? It is one of the rarest disorders out there, with little to no material on the disorder itself, and the people who do manage to get a diagnosis are normally so unwell that life is just pain. Their beard. As a guy with a beard, it's annoying. Although it's not quite as bad as it was 5 years ago or so, we get it. You have a beard. Having kids, or not wanting them, both are equally irritating. If I had a nickel for every time I saw the ladder on this site, I'd be a billionaire. Honest to God. Harley Davidson should be much higher. Yes, my dad is one of these people. He owns a Harley and literally every t-shirt and jacket he has is Harley Davidson merch. His truck is plastered with Harley Davidson logos. He put it on my mom's car's front license plate. He wanted to put his stickers on my car. The walls in his garage are completely covered with Harley Davidson signs and decals to the point where you can't tell what color the walls even are. Same with our fence. Harley Davidson neon lights are placed around the entire house. His phone case, Harley Davidson. Our flagpole, Harley Davidson flag, just below the American one, of course. It's ridiculous. Music. I know some people who are so snobby about their music choices. Weirdly, this seems less prevalent than it used to. Perhaps with more options, people are more open-minded and listen to a larger variety of things. Listening to different music is no longer an investment. No need to seek out records or be friends with someone who owns cool ones. Just one Spotify and you can check out any genre, anywhere, anytime. Maybe that's part of it. Their faith or lack of faith. I've seen Christians become hyper-religious and force their beliefs on everyone around them, and alternatively, I've seen atheists become toxic, and anyone who deters from their worldview even slightly is a complete moron. Let your beliefs be just that, yours, and not everyone else's. As someone who made being Mormon my personality for almost 3 decades, I'm now struggling with making being ex-Mormon my personality. I never had a chance to figure out who I was outside that framework until recently. Spending too much time on the internet. There are some people that every joke, every turn of phrase, every reference is just a meme. They're the equivalent of the people that would quote lines from TV shows or movies, but it's more widespread. Yes, I'm talking to most of you. Sorry. Hating the popular thing. The same as loving the current popular thing. Two sides of the same coin. Humans need a break from the internet. I need a break from the internet. Driving a Tesla. Elon fanboys are weird. I love you, Elon. This will get buried, but some of these things become a person's entire personality because it consumes a majority of their life, typically at a young age. Kids that saw active duty in Afghanistan, living that 24 hours a day, yeah, probably has a large influence on your personality. A woman with 3 small kids, raising them while her partner is absent, could be a deadbeat, could be working 18 hours a day to support them, is going to have a lot of anecdotes about motherhood. The point is that some individuals choose not to grow. Some just don't get the opportunity to. I'm sorry, this is a pitchfork-only thread. We're going to need you and your humane common sense to leave. Anime. I enjoy watching anime, but when I see other folks who spend a ton of money cosplaying random characters, going to conventions in those multi-layered cosplays, they buy a ton of figurines, posters, swords, flags, etc. I don't really find that annoying at all, because I have a bunch of jerseys, go to professional sporting events, and I have like 3 posters, and I also play fantasy football in like 4 leagues. A league I've been in for a decade, 2 money leagues, and a charity league. I'm sure fantasy football will be listed here, so I get the passion. What I do find annoying is how they confuse their anime fanhood and convert it to Japan fanhood. Some go as far as thinking Japan is the greatest country and they want to move there. Like, look man, sushi, ramen, and tempura are great, but Japan is as flawed as most countries and maybe even more flawed than others. Their work-life balance is stupid. You often hear about how people work 20-hour days sometimes and die of exhaustion. It's adding on to a declining population. Japan's population declined from 128 million in the early 2010s to 120 mil. There are also high rates of depression and lack of mental health care in Japan. Their religion. Like, good for you, but you look like a walking cliche. This applies to atheism too. Can't even vaguely talk about anything related to Christianity in the slightest, like talking about a game that takes aspects from it, or even discussing how holidays would be different in a fictional world, without them jumping down people's throats, screaming how it ain't real and there's no proof, and so on and so forth. Like, even if we are polar opposites in beliefs, I would rather just vibe and enjoy their company, not this. True, but they are the cringy part of the atheist community. I'm atheist myself and I can't care less about accuracy in games or other media. Hell, they whitewashed their own messiah. But as someone mentioned, there are a lot of regions in the world where atheists are living stealthy. If I'm ever visiting a strictly religious country, I'd pretend to be Christian. That's way safer than being honest. I'm in recovery, and there are some people who make their entire personality being in the program. It's their entire life. I understand it for people who are new because some have literally had to change everything and they need recovery to be their life for a while in order to stay clean and stay alive. That's perfectly fine. But when you have 25 years clean and you still go to 6 meetings a week, go to every single event, and your life entirely revolves around it, it might be time to maybe branch out a little. I've distanced myself from these people in the last few years. I stick to the few small meetings that these people don't frequent, call my sponsor when I need to, and have a handful of close friends. Other than that, I have an entire life outside of recovery. I have other friends, hobbies, and goals to achieve, and don't really talk about recovery unless I'm asked about it. I feel this is healthier. I feel like this is especially dangerous because what happens if they fall off the wagon? What happens if they don't have the strength to keep with that program for a while? That's going to hit them extra hard. Not to mention that some faith-based recovery programs are borderline cults. Going to the gym, having a certain car, being an entrepreneur, investing in crypto, being a vegan. Man, the list could just go on. Honestly, the being a vegan bit has become more of a stereotype than truth in my opinion. I've never met someone who is obsessed with their own veganism, but on the other hand, I have met and seen a couple of people who are obsessed with bashing vegans and eating meat. Exactly, people have asked me if I'm vegan, then gossiped behind my back with the "don't worry, he'll tell you" trope. It just boggles my mind that just saying I'm vegan when asked makes so many people uncomfortable, enough to invent a situation to somehow put me and other vegans down. Being from the country. Like, okay, we get it. When I was on dating apps, I'd steer clear of the Midwest values. Like, values are values. The Midwest doesn't corner the market on them, and we're in SoCal now, so if you want that, go back. Of course, Southern Californians are their own brand of obnoxious, lol. I'm native. We are all about that. Politics. My brother's wife only consumes Fox News and right-wing podcasts, has no friends, and has caused his family and friends to avoid him at all costs. She tries to start a Let's Go Brandon chant at any event where there are a lot of people. I have no clue why my brother chose her. People who own Jeeps. It's a Jeep thing, you wouldn't understand. Visiting Europe for more than a week, and still having no idea whether Paris is a country, a region, a city, or an extinct dinosaur. Being American. Put that flag away, no one gives a crap. Being a dog mom or having a fur baby. Do dogs call us skin babies? Not giving a damn. I don't know why, but recently it started to annoy me the number of people who seem to take not giving a damn as a massive personality trait. The thing, people, group, idea they hate. When people really don't like something, they center their dislike of it in their life. See example given: skinheads, Republicans, NIMBY neighbors, Luddites, activists of almost any type. They fight what they are against more than they promote what they support, because you don't need to be an activist for the status quo, gangs, etc. Being child-free, and also being a mama bear. The word introvert. Hey guys, did you know I'm an introvert? Because yep, I sure am an introvert. Yep, big time introvert right here. Hey, who has 2 thumbs and is an introvert? This guy. Oh boy, I sure am an introvert. Did I tell you I'm an introvert? Yep, introvert here. Absolute introvert. Oh, and as a reminder, I'm an introvert. How do you know when you meet an introvert? The same way you know when you meet a New Yorker. Don't worry, they'll tell you. Your description sounds more like an extrovert trying to fake being introverted. The introverts I know don't say crap to anyone. They let people sort of figure it out on their own. Some people have turned their whole-ass personalities into intonations and phrases they get from watching TikTok. It's a way for them to sound interesting, but they're basically copy-pasting how other people are speaking online and not having an original thought. I sound salty about it, but it honestly feels like whenever I go out these days, I'm stuck in an echo chamber of the same phrases being said over and over with no originality whatsoever. Be right back, gotta go project main character energy on my hot girl walk, it's a vibe. The sad thing is, a lot of it isn't actually internet speak. Most of the phrases and intonations you hear from TikTok and other social medias derives from AAVE, African American Vernacular English, and is used incorrectly most of the time. Sarcasm. I came here to say this. No, you're not just sarcastic, Kevin Karen. You're toxic. Riding a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. It literally takes over their whole life. Their wardrobe changes, the people they hang out with changes, even where they go on vacation or out to eat changes depending on where the next big bike night is. Their child's extracurricular sports. This is it. First thing I thought of is cheer moms, or a dance mom. Hating the other political team. Like, we are out for a drink and wings. Why are you bringing up Donald Trump? Is he in here? I can only speak for myself. The autumn is aesthetic. I'm talking campfire with toasted marshmallows, wearing a comfy hoodie or sweater, telling horror stories, sipping on pumpkin spice iced coffee, then carving pumpkins in the light of the beautiful harvest moon. Then there's one of the best holidays, Halloween. Oh yeah, my soul is so autumn. College football fandom. I live in Alabama, and good lord, that personality is on show year-round. Alcohol. It's so annoying. Constant posts of drinks in their hand, Every selfie is a drink in their hand, or a random day during the week, I'm home from work, someone stopped me from drinking. Their fandom, whether it's a sports team, sci-fi universe, or something else. What do you mean liking Star Wars but hating the prequels or sequels is not a personality? Being pregnant. It kinda unavoidably and biologically has to be, I guess. It changes what you like to eat, what you can drink, and what you can wear, what you look like, what you can physically do. It changes you mentally to be just a different person. I think this is actually a really good answer, but pregnancy does really legitimately become your entire personality. If you think about it for a second, you never think that someone has made a good thing and that you are into their whole personality. What's actually happening is they are into something that you aren't, and you notice it more than anything else because it annoys you. So you're really just asking, what thing annoys you? And to that end, I would say when people blame someone else for things they don't like. Someone else liking something doesn't mean it's their whole personality. Either get to know them better or only hang out with your own hive mind, which then ironically makes hating that thing your whole personality. Honestly, people get vilified for having a hobby or interest and accused of making it their whole personality. Some people suck and some are cool, and the tiny slice of their personality that you observe or that they have shared with you is only a tiny fraction of their whole being. Especially when it's a hobby or something. Who doesn't get excited when they first start a new hobby? People who drive manual cars. We get it. You are better than everyone else. Well, it's true, I just don't announce it. Their pet. Especially a snake. Never met someone like this, but I kind of feel like it's accurate. Kids. Once people turn into parents, they have almost no time to explore their own interests. The, what do you do for fun is met with, well, I have kids. Like it's some kind of flex. I feel bad for them. This. I'm a mom and I get my daughter into my own hobbies as much as possible. But one thing I will say, it's so cool to do kid stuff again and not get weird looks. I love the carousel. People who make their own drink or mead. No, I don't want to drink something that's been fermenting in a plastic jug at the bottom of your closet. I've been in the drink industry for over 10 years, and I've had to do many drink-related events, pint nights, in-store tastings, etc. And without fail, I'd always have someone who homebrews come up and tell me why whatever style they just tried isn't a true representation of that style. I've brewed my own drink exactly once and hated it. I didn't have that much fun. If I had a part in brewing the drink at the brewery I work for, I might enjoy it more, but I'll never homebrew again. Just isn't for me. Thanks for watching until the end. If you have an opinion you'd like to share, feel free to do so in the comments below. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when we upload our next video. Then be sure to stop by the channel to check out some of our other amazing videos. Thanks again, see you next time.